WTAW.
Bobby Gutierrez, Mayor Bryan joins us this morning. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Good. I think the last time you were due, you were out of town looking for a new business to come to Bryan, huh?
Yeah, we were in San Francisco. We had a economic development trip in San Francisco. Us, College Station, the county, and Texas A&M all went, and it was very, very good. It was very well put together by BVDC, and it was really nice.
So, what kind of things are those people asking you as opposed to what you're telling them?
Well, one of the things is that we have a lot of people coming to Texas in general, not just Bryan College Station, but Texas in general. And those people are looking, I think there's a lot of money. The VCs that are there right now are looking for other places to go.
Venture capitalists.
And they're looking for other places to go. We were in Palo Alto for quite a while. I guess we were there for 3-4 days. And we had some specific things the city of Bryan and Texas A&M were working on, which went very, very well as well. But, in general, they're looking to put money into places like Texas and like our area right here as well. So we're going to be having another summit. I think Jeremy Osborne's putting together a business summit here over the next couple of months, and need to get with BBDC or with Jeremy Osborne himself and find out about that, because that's going to be a really, really nice presentation.
That's when they come here?
That's when they're going to come here and visit, and I think it's a 3-day event. They'll be at the George and Century Square, and then they'll have some stuff in downtown Bryan. It's going to be kind of traveling around, showing them our area. A lot of former ags are there at Palo Alto, so it was a good trip, very good trip.
So one of the news stories we're running today, y'all have floated some bonds. I want to stop and talk for a minute about the bond rating. It's a AA+. What's it take to get? I mean, it's taken a while to get there, but what's it take to get there?
Well, we hear a lot of news about things that seem to sometimes, in my opinion, aren't that big of a deal, but they're a big deal to some people. This was a big deal, and I think this is very much newsworthy. We've been working on our, credit rating for quite a while. To get to a AA+ is very, very good, and it was explained to us the other day, by our CFO is, when they bid on bonds, it's it tells you how good they think about your community. And normally you'll have 1 or 2 people that are bidding on these bonds from all over the world, and it tells you how bullish they are on what it is. We would have, think back 10 years ago, you'd have 2 people bidding on them or 3 people bidding on them. And I think last year, and if you have 4, that's a big number. Last year we had 7 or 8, I can't remember. And this year we had 14 people bidding on our bonds. And I'm not sure, I can't remember who was the actual one that won it, but it saved the city almost $1 million literally in one day.
So, not to get too much in the weeds, but are there terms to it beyond? I mean, the AA+ obviously is big, but are there terms like faster payback or things like that the investors get that make these bonds advantageous?
No, I think they're just bullish in our area. They're knowing that there's going to be things that are happening. They know that the city of Bryan is run very well financially. We're fiscally, we run good. We run ourselves. We try to be answered to our citizens, but we also answer our city and the growth and how we handle our growth.
I happened to be on that road yesterday or the last couple of days. You got a lot of dirt being moved on both sides there, right by the park development. First of all, over on the park side, what's all that's going on by the lake?
Okay, so by the lake is where MBG is going in. We've got our final stages, I think, of the boardwalk that's being designed right now. The parking lot's going in for the MBG product that's going to be going on there. And then, of course, hopefully we'll have some other stuff activated. But we need that parking space. Legends is far out. I mean, it's doing very, very well. And
when's the next time we get a financial report on that as to what the nuts and bolts look like?
That's a good question. I think I'll go ahead and bring that up, and maybe we can talk about it the next time I'm here. I'll go ahead and find out and get a financial report from Jamie and from our guys on Parks to Board and see what we can do. But I do know that Legends we wish we would have built it bigger. I mean, it's like, we tried to be very fiscally responsible, and as it got out of, it started out at one price and ended up at a different price. We just shrank it down so we could keep within what we said we were going to do for the citizens, and that's what we did, but we really needed it bigger.
Well, and we talked about it back when this was in the formative stages. No matter what you do, there are going to be people unhappy about that. Yeah. What are you hearing from the people who say, hey, you're taking away walking trails? We thought we would have thus and so. We thought there'd be more open space. What's your answer there?
Well, we do have walking trails. I mean, I think there's 5 miles. I could be wrong, but I think there's 5 miles of walking trails around the park right now. We do have that festival space will be activated for the Big Barn Dance this year. You'll see that, and of course we have that tennis facility going in that we're doing with Texas A&M. It's still, my concern always is the green space. Me personally, I would like to keep it completely green, but looking at what the citizens need and what the city needs, and the value that we're getting it's overwhelming success right now. What's going on, and the public are telling me every time they go to Legends. I mean, people still have not been there. If you haven't been there, anybody listening, you owe it to yourself just to go in and walk in and see at any time of the day it's being utilized by somebody, whether it's homeschool kids during the day, whether it's the high school or junior high or whatever in the afternoon, whether it's club play, soccer, volleyball, whatever it is, somebody is using that place every single day. I mean, it's really a well utilized place.
So let's move away from there. Let's talk about other areas in the city, things that are developing right now that you're pretty excited about.
Well, we have all our Texas Triangle Park that we're in partnerships with the county right now, that we've got a lot of stuff over there. We've got a lot of infrastructure that we've got to put in to finish out those projects. Certainty project. We have Master Brick that's coming in. These are big, multi-million, tens of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of manufacturing and jobs and everything else. So that's going in on the north end of town. Obviously we have the, stuff that we're doing with national defense with SAC that's going in. There's a lot of good stuff happening. I know we're working on right now through BVDC that I-95 corridor that goes from here to Round Rock to Taylor and Hutto. How do we utilize and occupy whether warehouse and distribution for Samsung project that's going on, and for the people that can't afford to be in Austin proper, they've grown. I mean, there's no land over there. Here we have land, we have water, we have resources, we have electricity, we have all the things that you need to do light manufacturing or even heavy manufacturing. It's just we are an anomaly in the state of Texas right now.
Finally, there are only about 4 or 5 cities in America that can talk about this, but yesterday there were hearings in the House and Senate about hypersonic weapons. China has them. They think Russia has them. This is something that can fully impact us.
Well, yeah, we have Department of Defense. We have Futures Command there. We have the hypersonics there on Rellis. Rellis is probably going to be, as far as if you look at the future of Bryan College Station, Brazos County, Rellis is that vision of Chancellor Sharp that I don't understand how and where he gets these visions, but these are stuff that's going to change us forever. This is one of those legacy projects that has his name and has the people that working at Rellis all over this thing. It's a beautiful facility. Facilities and all the stuff they have. They have a new reproductive place going in over there too for animal science. There's just a lot of cool stuff happening there. But for national defense in particular, that's going to be kind of headquarters for the United States, around Rellis for national headquarters, national security, everything.
Finally, I want to mention the grant that you gave to the folks who were at the Shipwreck Grill. They owned a Miko Nave. They closed that down across the street, and they're going to move the Shipwreck Grill over there. Some Bryan money went into that. Explain that to me.
Yeah, that's a facade grant. That's open to anybody in business. I mean, you can do that in the form of facade grant. You can do that in the form of a 380 agreement. And what that does is that takes a piece of property that could be a higher and better use. And we're actually, all the stuff you just asked me about Midtown right now. Midtown's a high priority. South College, that whole Midtown area, which, take a mile circle around the Midtown Park, and that's basically Midtown. We want to activate all those properties for better and higher uses so we can do and bring people for heads and beds, for sales tax and everything else. They're going to invest about $1.5 million into that building. This is a grant that they'll get paid back on a $100,000 grant that, I said, any business can do it. We're working, as I told you earlier, with some on 29th Street, that we want to take some of those blighted areas of 29th and figure out how do we do that. Well, us as the city, we can take what we would call a catalyst site, say, look, if you buy this property and do this, we'll help you with X, because we want to reinvigorate that whole area as it goes. We've had some complaints on 29th Street. There's complaints on Villa Maria and in South College right now with all the construction. It feels like the whole communities under construction right, and just trying to get here is a challenge for me. But we just take your time that you're driving and double it, because that's how long it's going to take to get pretty much anywhere in town right now. And I say that with a smile, because some of the stuff is good, even though it's challenging, it's hard, and it's causing. I went through 2 years of it at the tire store, and it was very challenging, not only from the business standpoint, but from anybody who's around there. So, but ultimately, it ends up better, and hopefully all the stuff will pan out. But as it pertains to that grant, I would tell anybody, we have the Texas Avenue grant, we have the South College grants, we have, facade grants, we have downtown grants, and then we have the Midtown grants. And if you're going to take a piece of property and put that kind of money into it, then let us know how we can help you in Bryan, because it's like we always say, Bryan's open for business. We want to help these businesses. We want to do things for them proactively to make it a better place to live. There
you go, Bobby. Anything else?
No, just same thing. it just seems like we're going through all these little things when we've got this big stuff going on, and it just seems you get bogged down on these little issues that are big issues to some people, but they're little issues in the big scheme of what we have going on, and it's hard to get through those sometimes on a personal deal. But I just want to tell you, we can choose to be anything, choose to be kind, because sometimes you get a little bit more with sugar than you get with salt, and everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's opinion matters, but at the ultimate of the day, us on council, me as mayor, we have to make a judgment call for 90,000 people, not just 1 or 5 or 20, but 90,000. What's the highest and best use? What's the best thing for the whole community? And that's how we look at these things.
There you go. Bobby Gutierrez, thanks for the time today.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.